It is, we're trying to really build up our followers on that page.
Yeah.
Now, we all know you love us on our own individual pages, but we really want to get a following going on another side, on the side of Shade.
Yes.
All right. So our 3 cents. So let's just jump right into it. Okay. So I figured like it's been some weeks now, actually a couple, I guess, since the Me Too movement, because everyone has been talking about on between the award shows and all that, between the Me Too and the Time's Up. And I don't think we haven't really talked about it. I think we probably mentioned it briefly, but not really talked about it. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to get you ladies' take on, you know, what you think about the actual movement and where things are going and what does this really mean for us as women and then as a country, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it just means that we finally feel like as a collective that we have a voice. Mm-hmm. And I think that people are feeling like literally time is up. Like we're no longer going to stand in the background. We're not going to let these things slide. And I think the point that women were really making when, you know, everything was really breaking, particularly last year, and it was like, well, how come, you know, women waited so long? How come people waited so long? Because they were afraid.
Right.
When you're being abused, it's not like you're going to run, you know what I mean? And you know that your career might be on the line. Mm-hmm. That might be your check. You're trying to break into an industry. You know, you're trying to build a name for yourself, and you're coming up against power structures. Right. You're not going to necessarily you might say something to your close friends. Right. But you're not necessarily going to make a public case out of it. And I think that now that so many men have been called out, women
literally it's been one. Yeah, you were almost waiting for the next person. Right. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was sitting around like, oh my goodness, I hope so and so. Were you thinking that, like, you were hoping that it wouldn't be so and so?
No, I think.
I thought you were saying you were hoping that it was somebody. I'm like, oh.
No, I'm saying in my mind, I was saying the people that I really like.
Well, honestly,
I was hoping that it wouldn't be any of those people.
It was just like when you watch the news and you're like, ooh, please don't let it be a black person. Right. I was just like, please don't let it be no black people that come up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I just sort of felt
besides
like
Bill Cosby?
No, besides Bill Cosby, because that was, you know. Okay. But like because everything was week to week, the one that actually shocked me was when it was Matt Lauer.
Yeah,
like,
that literally, I think that took everybody
like, that morning, I was like, oh my God.
I think everybody.
Nobody saw that one coming.
No, nobody did. Except the people that worked there. The people that worked there said we already knew.
Ann Curry was sitting at home like, yeah, Jack.
It's all coming. Yeah, it's all coming. But I don't know. Were you? To me, I was like just hoping that it wouldn't like anybody like Denzel.
Right.
You know, like I was just worried about like, no, say it ain't so.
Right.
You know, like
Barack and Michelle walked out and you're like.
Exactly. Like it's like stuff like that. I mean, I don't want it to be anybody, but I'm just saying it's just like I think everyone feels the same way. And I think that if you're a part of the industry, then you kind of know. Because it's like certain cultures that you know, like certain things go on.
Right.
And you know, I think people make, and then I think that was it, but like people were making jokes about it, like, oh, well, you know, Harvey Weinstein, he's the kind of person, you know, he's this, he's that, but nobody would do anything. Meanwhile, people were being raped and assaulted and all that.
There's power in numbers now. There's power in numbers. If it's just you up against a whole system.
Right.
And it's exactly what you was talking about, like so the way social media is set up.
Oh, yeah.
All it takes is for you to tweet one thing, post one thing, and even if the people in your immediate circle or job or whatever,
once they get the share,
as soon as that share button get the hit,
it's a movement.
Because everybody there.
That's like, when the movement started.
It's a movement.
But it was a young lady, and I don't know if you saw this video, which was out some months ago, who had confronted her molester at a family function, and she videotaped it. And people were like commenting like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm thinking to myself, at the like, I mean, I know that, and they was like, I'm so proud of you for doing it. Like, grandma, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, and the guy was like, she was like, oh, you didn't, you know, remember when you did this to me? And the guy was sitting there like eating his chicken, like, oh shit. I mean, it's not funny, but it's not funny. But I'm just saying, like, this is what I'm saying about social media, though. Like, we're saying, like, once people. You can do so much damage. You can really ruin somebody.
Because even if it was one of those situations where it was, I told my mother, I told my grandmother, whatever, and nobody said anything, or just
I'm sure that might have had to been what it was.
Grandma is now getting 500 posts to her inbox, like, oh my God.
Why does grandma got an inbox?
She might. It's 2018. Okay. Stop. Grandma has an inbox.
Grandma might be 38.
Now she like,
that's true. I ain't think about that. Grandma's young.
True. Poor baby. Let's talk about it. No, but
grandma don't sound like that anymore.
No, and that's the thing.
Grandma don't sound like that anymore. I know he did.
Right.
No, that's
grandma.
That's
no,
grandma.
but now, is that appropriate to then? I think that's what it is. People are using social media for that. I mean, for other reasons, but to now calling people out, like you can literally be taken down by one post. Like one thing you do, if it's caught on tape, it was and I was just thinking about that because we went out for my my girlfriend's birthday, Karima's birthday. Hey girl.
Hey birthday.
And we were just saying, like, I just don't think it's appropriate for somebody to record people. Like, it's one thing if y'all in y'all circle and y'all record, but when another person is recording, like, it's just invasion.
Right.
Like, it's just too much. Like,
privacy.
what if your root, like, what if you ain't all together? A little piece of your spank is coming. Like, I don't want, because they're not
supposed to be there.
Right, but that's another thing. But you're supposed to be there. You told them you're going to be somewhere else. But I'm just saying, like, people just, to me, when it comes to social media, there's no limits.
Right.
Like, you can't just be out and about and somebody's recording you.
Right.
Like, it's just too much. Sometimes it's too much.
It is an invasion of privacy if you're out and if you just happen to be in the background because somebody was trying to.
Right. That's one thing.
But if people are literally.
But in the background might be digging in your nose or in the background pulling at your
nowadays.
You gotta be careful.
Nowadays, I mean.
And now you turn into one of them little gift things. Pulling down your skirt like it's like this.
You're a meme.
It's like this.
You become a meme.
Exactly. And I'm saying that would be my worst nightmare. To be somebody's
whoever filmed the woman from the Black Ice Matters meme, her. Yeah. You know what? She was literally just falling.
She just fell right.
And now she's a meme.
And now she's a meme.
She's a meme.
It's I'm sorry, but
I mean,
I don't know how we got from there.
It was a funny meme though.
It was
hilarious.
But I mean, I think that to me, I think what I'm thinking, even the Time's Up thing, I think some people, it's always going to be I don't say backlash, but issues with any movement,
right,
where people feel like it's somebody's not included or something
right,
is, you missed this part. Because I think with the Time's Up, it's more about raising money for
for the marginalized,
right,
because the women that have been out in the forefront have been the celebrities,
yes,
and
so
that's like a collective, right, and so
right.
now it's really now trying to shift the focus to the women who are still going through it, who still don't have a voice, right? Who really never had that voice because they're truly marginalized. Like you're women and you're working in positions where, you're paid minimum, you don't have a collective, like nobody's representing you.
You can't tell somebody no.
That's right, nobody's representing you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that is great. I think that, using that platform, using your platform for that.
It's way past due time. Like,
oh, heck yeah. And I think that's the thing. I think that's where everyone is. It's like, and so now, but then
I think it also started when folks elected who they elected, because we didn't do that. I didn't know. But for those who did, that's like a glaring representation of where we are right now, and it's like
because when the very man that holds that office has been accused by 19 people,
that's right,
19 women, like.
That's
so
right.
It's almost so enough is enough, and still, but everybody around him in that situation fell.
Right.
But him.
Right.
So I think that to me, the Time's Up it's not up for everybody.
Right.
And so then my thing is everybody needs to be held accountable. But what I will say that one thing I would like to address is like the degrees of this. Because I think sometimes everything's lumped into one thing. So it's like, and then people lose jobs, lose contracts, lose whatever behind lumping everything in together. So this is what I mean. So is there a degree of someone being sexually assaulted, meaning someone maybe happened to be raped, or someone was fondled in some sort of way, or whatever the case may be, against their will, or is somebody touched you inappropriately, or is there degrees or levels to that? Like, can you compare someone actually being raped and compared to, or saying like, okay, there's one way we have to deal with this, and then how do we deal with someone being touched inappropriately? You understand what I'm saying? Like there's degrees, like almost like murder. Like there's first degree, second degree, like there's degrees to it, where it's not all just it's not just lumped into one thing.
Right. I see what you're saying. And I think that when it comes from, like, if you're looking at it from a legal standpoint, or even from, I don't know, whatever the policies are in your agency or place of business, I think that's one thing when you're looking at degrees, right? First degree, second degree, or whatever. But I think when it comes to a woman's word that this was inappropriate, this was not wanted, this was not welcomed. I said no. Whether I said no to you doing this or you pulling down your pants, that part doesn't matter because it's still a violation. But
Right.
how it's handled, I think, will ultimately depend on
But see,
where
that's
it's
what
recorded.
I think that's what I'm saying. The problem is, I'm not saying my issue is not with. You can't tell someone that it's no different than we can get into slavery and the Holocaust, who suffered more.
Right.
Not those degrees in that sense of how somebody felt and whatever their violation level was. But what I'm saying is how we deal with it. That very point, what you're saying, like, how do we handle each of those offenses?
Right. And I think that now that more focus, and I think, again, this is where, now that we do have the focus on it, I think corporations, businesses, everyone hopefully will start to look at their policies and laws more critically, because up until this point we really haven't. And I think when you have whole legions of women coming out and saying this has happened, you really do have to take it as a first degree. But beyond that, with a lot of things, I think it's hopefully forcing people to actually look at how do we do
address
this?
things.
Because we can no longer just tell the woman to go sit down. Right. We can no longer do
Right.
that. So we really do
Or
have
that's
to
just
look
how they
at.
are, or that's just
That's
what
right.
it
Or that's
is.
just how he is, or whatever.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
I completely think that there is degrees to it. I think just the same way when it comes to rape, how you have some women, and not all, even men, who will take something and make it an extreme thing. So it could be, no, it wasn't rape. He just did blah, blah, blah. And you find out years later after the fact. But you didn't already took it to this person being charged and in jail and losing their life and their career and everything else. I think the same thing could be for those, job situations.
Yeah.
If I'm a touchy-feely person, and I've always been a touchy-feely person, and I'm like 60 years old, and every time I talk to you, it's like, hey, hi, darling, how are you? How was your weekend? That's completely different. It's inappropriate, yes. And especially if I've asked you to stop doing
Right.
it.
So you're saying, should this man
So
do
you
his
should,
job?
yes, probably have some training on what sexual harassment is.
Right.
You should then be, maybe step down from that position or put in a different department or have this person moved elsewhere or you moved elsewhere. But I don't think it means, lose your job, lose your career,
Right.
not be able to support your family. Now, somebody saying, he asked me to come in and perform a sexual favor for him so that I can get my promotion is
Right.
completely
That's
different.
completely different.
So,
But that's what I'm saying.
absolutely, that's
And that's what I'm saying. I think that, but then the movement, I feel like people are not allowed to speak that truth.
Right.
If you feel a certain way about whatever it is, it becomes now you either for us or against us.
Right.
And I think to me that's when the movement goes awry.
Right.
Because you have to have different viewpoints. You have to be able to understand that there's levels to it. It's not just a one size fits all. And we have, and what's funny, well, not funny, but what's interesting to me is that the very thing, this one size fits all, always seems to plague our systems. Because if you don't take things by case basis, I'm not saying you can't have general rules and guidelines, but just think of somebody.
to yourself.
Keep your hand right. But I'm saying there's rules and guidelines, but I'm saying it's no different than you go to, if somebody goes down to DSS and they fall 1 penny below,
Right.
or above what the
Right.
requirement is to get food stamps,
Right.
then that's it. Sorry, we can't help you. When I'm saying, if you look at this person in this case for what it is, you would let that person get what they need.
Yeah.
So my point is that we always, I feel like in America or in this society, everything is, we don't look at the whole thing. It's always, well, these are the rules, so we lump everything in together.
Because
You
we
know
don't
what I mean?
think, a lot of us don't think critically.
No, we don't.
And I say that particularly when it
common
comes
sense
to
ain't common.
politics, folks don't think critically. And I think particularly now in the day of social media, like we were saying, where people are quick to start a movement off of one little line or whatever.
It's one
we
little
don't
phrase
think-
and then you going crazy.
Right. Now it's like almost like if you're trying to think critically, you're almost
But
seen
then
as the
you're
bad
ostracized.
guy.
You're
Right, you're
ostracized.
ostracized. When
You
it's not
are.
like you're saying you're for or against, but you're
Right.
just saying, let's look at all the facts and figure out from whatever
And
legal
that's what I'm
standpoint or
saying.
area we're in, how can we address this? I mean, we see this even a lot of times with our students when we're teaching and stuff. It's like folks just want to jump on and run out into the streets and start doing stuff. It's like, there's a
Right.
strategy.
Right. Let's
Folks
give
have
it a
done-
second.
right,
You already
let's
got
step
you got
back.
the banners and the t-shirts.
Right, we
It's
already
like,
know
slow
that
down,
this
stop
is
the
wrong.
presses. Literally, don't press that t-shirt.
That's right. We know
Give
that
it
this
a
is wrong
second.
Know where
behavior.
you are. Know what the issues are. Like, know
Right.
your setting.
That's right.
Because if you say someone touched me on the shoulder, but you're a stripper in a strip club, that's different from me being in corporate saying I was just sitting here minding my business and some random person came
Right,
in my
I was at the
office
copy
and started-
machine.
I was at the copy machine. Somebody saying,
Like,
"Oh wait a
I
minute,
didn't know,
no, hold
I didn't know
on,
I couldn't touch this
Hold
stripper in the
on.
strip club doing her work hours.
hold
I
on."
apologize.
But
I didn't know.
no, it's totally different if you work at if you at the copy machine and he seen you at the strip club stripping,
Well,
and then he seen
and
you
he
at the copy
come off-
machine at work, and he come thinking it's okay. There's levels to
You're like,
it. What I'm
that's-
saying.
that's
He's
after
saying-
5.
So that's after
That's
5. So
at 9
I'll
o'clock.
wait.
This is
Just
inappropriate.
wait till
So
9.
this is not
Wait
good
till
right by
9.
the water cooler is what
Right.
he's saying.
And I'm
So
saying
you got,
wait
you gotta
until 9
know.
o'clock.
Leslie said you gotta know your boundaries. You do.
Listen.
You have to. I'm just saying. Just in case.
No,
there's
you're right.
times.
You're right.
Because
we all
you
got a
know-
side hustle.
But look.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, if that's your side hustle, then what we gonna do?
Listen.
I mean,
So anyway,
Not
Job.
Popeyes.
It is a
It
job.
is.
a
And it's
legal-
not for us to
It is
judge.
a legal job.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Don't stop. Get it.
you said illegal.
I said
He
it
says
is
legal.
Oh, okay.
job.
I was like, that is illegal.
Yes.
Oh, well, good. The piece would be shut down. Okay, but no. So then that goes in. Speaking of boundaries, okay.
All right, let's go there.
Let's go there with the boundaries because I know, and I feel like that's the only thing because we only come on every other. You know, I feel like we kind of catching up to all that's going
Right.
on. But this story with Ginuwine, where he was on that show, and I think it's in the UK, and basically there was a dialogue between him and the people on the show, and there was a transgender woman sitting next to him, and she was going into talking about, you know, I think some of the issues that she's dealt with when it comes to being a transgender woman, saying I'm simply a woman,
Right.
and you can take the T off of it. Let's
Right.
leave the T's aside and just look at me as a woman.
Right.
And his basically what he was saying, no, nothing against her. He was just like, but I know you are a trans woman. So, and she said, but if you didn't know that, would you date me? And he was like, well, she said, would you date any woman if you didn't know? And he was like, well, I mean, we didn't say any woman, but you know, this room. But he was saying, but she said, but now he said, but basically because I know you are trans, I would not be interested. That's basically the gist of it.
Yeah.
And so he got blasted. Oh, so what happened was this? She
So, yeah,
leaned in,
so
she kind of
he-
hugged, like
yeah.
they were hug. He hugged like this, and he was
Yeah.
all like that.
Yeah.
But then when she went to kiss him, and he was
like-
like, whoa. And so he got blasted for that.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, and I think we all discussed when it comes to it, like, there's boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
even if you had that same experience in the club, I wouldn't want anybody, even a hug is a little bit, you dancing
Yeah.
and you sweating. Like,
If you're
I
not
don't,
invited- like, I didn't
I didn't invite you in my space. So
Right.
why is that okay, regardless of whether you identify as trans, gay, lesbian, whatever? It doesn't matter. Heterosexual, like, it's just inappropriate to approach someone in that way.
Yeah, and I think it was some of it was an overreaction in that, because if you watch it, he was cuddled up next to her
Right.
until she moved in for
For the kill.
right.
She moved
She
in.
really is, like,
Right, she
Get
moved in
down.
for the kiss, which
She did.
you know, all of us would like. If I just met you
Right.
2 minutes ago,
right.
I'm gonna move away from you. Like
Right.
I don't care what you look like. I don't know you.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm gonna move away. I know she was making a point, and her point was valid. But I think for folks to attack him for being something other than just not interested in kissing
Exactly.
a stranger.
And
Like,
a strange
do we do
transgender
that?
woman, and then right, and
Do we
that's what I'm
kiss
saying.
strangers?
Exactly. But
Some
I mean,
people kiss strangers.
I guess they do, so they don't have boundaries.
I'm about to say they have no boundaries.
I mean, that could
But
be
how
true.
drunk are you when that's happening?
You make a good point.
Or high.
Or high? And where
But-
are you when that's happening?
But
Exactly,
the
that's
point
fair.
is, I think like he was saying, he was uncomfortable, and it wasn't appropriate. And so her point that people got caught up in
Right.
what she was trying to make, what you said, what like we're saying is a valid point.
valid point.
But then they misread, but they didn't
they got
accuse
caught up in
her
that. Right.
of being inappropriate.
Exactly.
And I'm saying, but that's inappropriate for anybody. Like, it's not cool.
Don't
I don't
just
care
invade somebody's
Yeah.
space
what your
like that and
label
force
is.
yourself on them, because if it was a man who forced himself on a female
Right.
like that, it would have been an issue.
Oh, it would have
if
been.
a male leaned in for the kiss and the girl pulled back and he was like offended by it, everybody would have been bashing him.
Yeah.
So
'Cause he
no.
shouldn't have been.
And
Right.
even the preference, you can't. bash somebody for not liking something that they don't like or liking what they do like. I mean, it's bullying, I feel like, in any sense. So the people who are attacking him because he said, no, you're not my preference, I feel like we're just as bad as the point that they were trying to make.
Right.
That's crazy.
No, I get it. I mean, I think that's what it is. And again, people jump on, they see the one line or they see this clip and probably didn't watch it in its entirety. Now we got a full-on dissertation about why he hate transgenders.
Right.
And so you taking it going way too far. If that's not that man's preference, if he was, first of all, if he was attracted, I mean, there was
There's a
levels
lot.
to
Again,
it.
the critical thinking. Like,
It is,
there's levels.
I mean, there's levels and stop.
But I still don't think that if
Even
any
if
of us
the
were
fact
in
that
that
it's a stranger.
situation, the
It's a
fact that it was a
stranger.
stranger.
Stranger danger. Literally. There's danger because there's a stranger trying to kiss me.
And it's flu season.
It is flu season. And
yes.
people are dying.
And
out
people
here.
are dying.
That's true. We
Like,
don't know
I
when that
don't-
was taped though.
Yes.
But they
Was
were,
it
they
in the
were,
height?
it was
Oh, they was
covered.
cold.
They
They
were
was
under the
cold.
covers.
Yes.
It's
Let this
true.
be a PSA. Please wash your hands.
Yeah, people do need to wash their
I mean,
hands.
did they have
And
Perel
cover
on
your
the
mouth when you
set? Like,
cough. Like,
Alright.
that's just...
so that's why I'm just
Sorry.
But and I think that's the thing. It's like, again, with these movements, you know, people go to social media and they go crazy.
Right, you ready to go on for
It's
the
like
show?
you going off on people and you just don't know all the story, and then you're not looking at for what it is,
Right.
You know,
Right.
So
Ginuwine has done a lot of questionable things, but we're gonna let you.
he
be great
has.
for
I
this
mean,
one.
he's been riding ponies and everything.
Yeah,
But do we? I like Ginuwine myself.
Even when he was in the group, remember?
What group?
Wasn't he in the group?
No.
Ginuwine was one of the.
Oh,
members
with
of
the
group.
with Tyrese and Tank.
oh, what was this?
Yeah, there
Sometimes
was
he wasn't
issues.
looking like he was all the way there.
That
That's what it
nigga,
was. Right.
yeah. I
He looked like he
hated
was
that
drunk
name.
or high as a kite in some of those.
Well, he
videos.
might have been going
But-
through something,
Right,
but that
I
has
think he
nothing.
was. That's what I said. You made some questionable, but that one.
No,
We gonna-
we
we
got
gonna let
we
you
had
slide.
your back
We
on that
had
one.
your
I mean,
back.
it wasn't right. But then, you know, speaking of again back with social media, this is like social media day. I feel
Pretty
like
much. Because we get our news.
this is how I get my news. It's a shame. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, I watch MSNBC and all that, but some of that stuff, like, it's every day. It's about 45, and I just can't take it.
No, it is.
Like,
And
we
the Russia-
wake up
the
to
Russia
it. It's like,
probe.
this the only way I
It
can
is.
find relief is in social media nonsense. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Where I get my whole entire life is in the comment section. When I tell you it goes down in the comment section, I live for the comments.
But hearing her tell the story of the comment sections of the funniest
Because
things
it's
in the world.
hilarious. If you see that, I just wait for the response. So
She the
I don't know-
googly eyes.
I be in there like, oh, what they saying? Oh, it's going down in the comment section. So the other thing was the next thing is Lamar Odom. So he was on, and I know Diamond know about this.
Story.
He was on the new show Man Cave.
Okay.
That has Tank on there, Jeff Johnson, and I forget there's a couple other guys, but he was a guest on there. Just started on BET.
Oh, okay.
Who can be annoying?
Jeff can be too much sometimes.
He can be, but don't do
Like,
that.
sometimes he's extreme.
But he's a woke brother. Let him be woke.
Sometimes you need to
He got to go fall asleep a little bit, close your eyes just a little bit.
give me one eye. Sometimes you just a little.
No, sometimes people are too woke. It's that you doing too much.
It's like,
you
it's
just
breakfast.
like go to sleep.
Can I enjoy my cereal? My God.
Just a brief nap. Goodness, you
Take a
just woke
nap.
everything.
Take a
You
nap.
coming down. Anyway, so Lamar Odom was on there, so they was talking about, and the thing, the premise behind the show is really to give men a place where they can talk about anything outside of just sports. Because he was saying, like, sometimes it's just like they feel like, sometimes people feel like that's all men, when they come together, that's they chat up about that.
Right.
So anyway, so that's what this space is for. And so Lamar Odom was on there. So they asked him about Khloe Kardashian and, you know, their relationship. And so the question was, when did you realize it was over? And so his comment was after the second or third baller she was with. Everybody, oh my goodness, I can't believe he said it. And then he gave her a rave review in terms of who she was as a woman, how he was. I mean, he was in love with this woman. And I was telling Kristen, like, out of all them sisters, to me, her and Lamar seemed the most genuine.
Yeah, they did.
When I did used to watch the show. But everybody went in. So then Kim Kardashian, I feel like I'm one of them, you know, them gossipy. And girl, let me tell you what she said. So then Kim
you ain't
said,
get
right,
it from
right. That's how I feel. I feel just like that. Because girl, what happened was.
And
So
we
then,
sitting here like,
I'm sitting there, you like, look, what did she say? What she say? So
What
then
happened?
Kim comments, she said, after the first or second brothel. Because you know he was called the brothel, right? And so I said to myself, Kim, I feel like you just had a baby, right? I mean, you didn't have it, but you got a newborn. Mm-hmm. Why are you I know she thinks it's a good comment. She thinks it's a good comeback. And I saw Chrissy Teigen's, that's right, like, get him. Y'all got him, that's right. And I'm saying here in the context of the show, the man, they asked him about that. Now, did he have to say mess with 3 or 4 ballers, 2 or 3 ballers or whatever? Maybe not. Could he have said after her second or third relationship? Maybe. But I'm saying your life is in the limelight. Everybody knew you messed with 2 to 3 ballers. It's the truth.
Right.
He ain't say nothing that wasn't true. And you calling him out about a brothel, he never denied that he was in a brothel.
Yeah,
she never denied that she was with the ballers.
We saw him there.
Hello.
No, but when your sister says that, it's supposed to be like, that's right, get him, tell him.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I'm not saying it wasn't shade. There was a level of shade. I get that. But I'm saying this is someone's truth and what they experienced. So you can't really be mad at it. So then I gotta look at the comments. Because if everybody like, that's right, he told. No, nobody was saying that's right, she told him. Everybody was saying, Kim, stop.
I mean, pretty much.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm gonna look, listen to me, look. Cause she got her own view on it. I'm saying, Kim, I get you want to protect your sister.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that relationship, him saying that to me wasn't really, I'm not saying it wasn't a level of shade.
Yeah.
The man was hurt. Yeah. She was hurt. Yeah. It was a horrible
watching
ending,
it play out.
Right?
Yeah.
To how they started and to where it ended at, and now she's pregnant.
Yeah.
With this other, like, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So was he lashing out? Probably.
Yeah.
But that was his truth, and so how he spoke it or said it. Okay, it was on TV. Yeah. Okay, but this is the life that you all chose to live.
Yeah, Kristen, what's your take?
Kristen has a different view.
What's your 3 cents?
So I have 2 things. So being the sibling of a sister, there's some things it's off limits. You're never going to at any time come for her, ever, and especially if you're the person who broke her heart. Because like you said at the beginning of this, she really loved this man. And I
wait a minute. You gotta give him some. He said the second or third baller, Amelia.
I feel like she really did love him. Like despite what the rest of the relationships were and why they got in those relationships, I think that she really did love Lamar, and that he really broke her heart when he dragged her through what happened. Mm-hmm. So to be a sibling, family, or whatever, the first thing you're gonna do is defend the honor of the person you love the most.
True.
Second of all, when he said it, it was shady. You know it was shady.
I never said it wasn't.
Some things don't have to be said. It's like that per our conversation in the email, like, you know I'm coming for you. Don't try it. Like, let me tell you here, section 1, flip chart moment where you got me messed up. I think he knew what he was getting himself into. So then it's like, oh no, you didn't realize it after the second or third baller. You realized it after the second or third broth. Like you were sitting here doing your dirt, and you knew how she felt. You watched this woman be hurt. You hurt her, and you watched her as she dragged through this. The whole world did. So now you gonna say that's when you realized it? I feel like you were throwing shade. And so Kim was just like, oh bitch, I'm timing up for you.
Is she though? Not really.
In that one moment. Just in that one moment.
Because
those few seconds. I just feel like he was wrong. I feel like don't open the door unless you're going to come all the way through. Don't open the door and
he wasn't ashamed. They asked him online on TV. It wasn't nothing to be ashamed about. But I'm just saying, when everybody chiming, yeah, that's right, get him, got him, got the little me.
But
exactly.
For him, and his feelings,
right?
That's what he knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he knew. So that's all you're saying is that
was his. That's what I'm saying. That was his experience. That was his experience.
That was what he felt, because he was holding out hope until
but see,
baller
that's
number
what
3.
We saw. How do you know that he didn't realize it after the second or third brothel? How do you know?
Brothel or the? Because if you went to brothels, you already know it's over.
But he wasn't in the right state to even realize it.
He wasn't.
He wasn't in his right mind to even realize it.
Right.
Exactly. You know he's sick. Now
he wasn't in his right mind.
I think he's still sick.
You think he's still dealing with something?
The few times he's been on, he looked like he was healthy.
Coughing and sniffing if she got a cold.
Yes, you can.
Like, you dropping shit. What is wrong with you? I'm sick.
But you can be blamed for putting your snot tissues all over the place.
Facts.
Like, be professional.
But
how?
But I'm just saying, I'm gonna ask you as a man in here. Do you think?
I got experience with brothels.
Okay. I'm just saying.
don't.
Some things
No
just don't-
judgment.
I don't.
No, I'm saying. She's saying. I never denied that it was shade. I know it was shade.
What's
Right.
shade though?
What I'm saying? It was.
Was it a side or was it like a?
It was a
full-
side.
It was a
Side.
side.
That was
It was
a
definitely a
It
side of
definitely
shade.
wasn't full.
Because he could have said
After the second or third relationship.
Yeah, so after I saw that you had moved on.
Right, he could have
After
said
I
that.
saw-
No, I don't think
fact-
that's shade though.
If
After
he said that,
no, he
that would
said.
have
I think
been-
that's
he
a
said
fact.
After I saw you
He
was the
said
second or
after I
third
saw,
baller.
and that's what I'm saying. This is what people fail
No,
to
that's a
realize.
fact.
But it was a fact.
Shade is
But that's
truth.
what we said.
Shade
It
is
is.
truth. Now, whether you need to say it or not
Hello.
is up for debate.
No,
And
I
how-
think
and how
I think
you
it needed
say
to
it and
be.
in what
I think it needed to
context.
be said because here's as his lawyer.
Okay.
Here's what my client meant by that
Okay.
comment. My client meant that she targets her family, targets ball players.
Well,
That's never been a secret.
Don't act like y'all don't know.
Right.
I'm just stating the obvious. That's what my client says. I'm sorry.
Denied it.
Huh?
But you saying
if y'all
it-
saying it's shady,
I'm not. Hey,
No,
then
I
that
did
means
not.
that y'all acting like
No. We're not saying that it's not a fact. We're just saying that there was a side of shade in the comment.
Absolutely.
So,
And
but
if he was at the
Had he
brothel
said it in
and
a
she's
different
got
way-
mad ball players back to back, we really doing the same thing. How's she moving from relationship to
No,
relationship to
he
relationship?
never said that
She's
she
a
was
hoe.
messing with these ballers
Oh,
when
no,
she
of
was in a
course not.
relationship.
Of course not.
And I honestly don't think that was the case.
You don't?
Because I feel like no.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
They
If
was
you
still
told
married.
me Kim, yes, I believed it. If
They're
I found
sisters.
out today that Kim is still messing with somebody,
Ray J?
even
Ray J?
not really.
They're sisters.
I would believe that. No, that's not true. I
They
don't
cut
believe
from
that.
the same cloth.
Get out of here. We
They
don't know
not.
that because they
Wait,
might not
but
have
what
the
are
same
we? I'm
daddy.
sorry. What are we debating
So-
here?
He thinks that she was doing dirt while he was
Yeah.
while they were married.
Right.
Clearly.
And he was in the
They
brothel.
weren't. No,
And
they
I-
weren't. Yeah, she was seeing people when they were still married.
When it was the
Well,
third,
towards the end, after the
right,
but not
towards
while
the
he was still
end,
doing
not
his.
during the glory days.
Right.
What's his,
Okay.
what's
Once
his,
he-
what's his
not
wife's
during the
name?
glory days.
What's his wife's name?
Because she
We're
was
not
too
going
busy
to-
trying to find him.
What's his wife's name?
Who's
His
wife?
ex-wife?
Oh, they're divorced.
Yes.
Yeah, Khloe
What's his
Kardashian.
ex-wife?
Khloe Kardashian.
Is that the one that was sitting on my light-skinned brother's lap?
What light
French
brother?
Montana?
Yep, she
Yeah.
used to be
Oh,
with him.
yeah. He didn't even mention all the guys.
That's what I'm saying.
He just specified the ball
The ball-
players.
this is what I'm trying to say.
Cause him,
Like, yo.
Game,
Yeah, she was with the game.
Yes, Game.
She was with the,
We ain't
she
gotta
was with
bring
the
up
He didn't mention
everything.
all the rappers.
We ain't gotta bring up everything.
All I'm saying
That's all I'm
is-
saying. Leave his name out of this.
If
Keep
he
your
was
name
trying-
out your
Keep his
mouth.
name out.
Listen, if he was trying to be shady, he would have referenced rappers, ball players, and all the other random drug dealers that we probably don't even know about.
Not the drug dealer.
Yeah,
You
whoever.
start rumors.
I'm just saying.
You know she was with some.
Yeah, whoever. I'm just talking about.
So is it because the shade was when she was messing with
He said
more
these-
than one?
these niggas
two
I
or
know,
three people?
basically.
Right,
These-
the two
I know
people
these
at my
guys.
job. Is that what it was?
That's what it is. Right. When you talk to the girl in the fry station
Somebody go
and the
get
girl
that
that work
man
in the
some milk.
drive-through,
Something going on in his life.
McDonald's girls do it too.
All I'm saying is,
Get some juice.
I
juice
get-
and get over it.
all I'm saying is that it was there was truth to it. It wasn't any. He didn't say anything that wasn't true. She was out here. She was on the show with most of. What I'm saying
Right.
is everybody
Like you
knew.
said, shade it
It's
stems from
it's-
truth, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you know that there's levels to being shady, and the number one rule
Okay.
of shadism
Is what?
is if you open that door, you gotta expect what comes after it.
And I don't think he had no
That's-
problem with coming after
that's
it.
true.
He was here
Don't
for
do
it.
true.
And especially in the world of social media, it's
Oh.
never gonna be I'm gonna just throw this little shot. And I'm
No,
gonna leave it alone.
but-
I'm gonna
but-
back up and
that's
be
right.
quiet.
Listen.
Oh no, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
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 no.
no,
People
no,
throw
no, no.
rocks and hide
Doors
their
open.
hands.
No. Let me tell you something. I don't think there was a problem with that. And again, it had nothing to. He ain't say nothing back. The problem is the comment section. The comment section goes in. You ain't got. It could be a beef between her and I. And we can say, girl, we be back together, friends, and people still go in the
I'm about to
comments.
say,
No,
we
she
had lunch,
did.
and then they like,
We had lunch eating, and the next, the
Yeah.
comment section is going in. So
Yeah.
that's really where it stemmed from. The comment section was going on Kim. They then went on Khloe, and then the whole family from Kris Jenner down to Northwest. They ripped them from A to Z. Then, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the comment, people just. You think they did? Southwest. But but the people, it's because people give out this unsolicited, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I live for the comment section. Immediately when I see a post, that's the first thing I go. I don't even see what's going on. I'm like, what are the people saying? The people are saying, you know what, Kim? Take care of Chicago. First of all, why you naming Chicago?
Let's talk about that.
Why you naming Chicago?
Y'all don't like that name?
No, we like Shy.
Shy
If
is
her name
cute.
was
Shy
Shy
West.
West,
the nickname.
that would have been cute.
It ain't
That's the
nickname.
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 That's
If
the
they
name,
called,
person name.
you can't do that. If they called her, if her name was Shy West, her nickname would have to be Shh.
I forgot they are black. You know we can. You know what? I'm
It
telling
would
you
have been
everything.
C.
Hold on.
It'd have been
Let
C.
me tell you something. It's the funniest thing.
The
When
stupid,
I named my daughter. Actually, my brother gave me the name, and I said I only wanted her name real short and sweet because I didn't want people to give her a nickname. Her name is Nia. Okay. Guess what everybody call her?
Nee.
Nee. Because it don't matter what it is.
It's the culture.
It's not about short.
It's not about short. It don't matter. It gotta call it something different.
Right.
It
Gotta
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So
Exactly.
it's like this is what it is.
doesn't
But no,
matter.
I like
She
Shy.
might be one of them nicknames that don't have nothing to do with her name.
Right, that's true.
Right. Like,
But I like Shy.
I like
Shy is cute.
I don't like
But they can do that
Say
because
like
they're-
shh.
Oh, that's what you shh.
come on, shh.
Cause that's what she be telling her
You
father.
call him with that shh.
That's why she tell her mother.
Yeah, shh. Don't say that.
But they
She
can
like,
do
huh?
that because of that in that world. You
Yeah,
know what
they
I
can
mean?
do
Where
that.
names really don't. I mean, what is that
Yeah, 'cause
child
you
gonna
got-
ever have to do in life?
Nothing.
Right,
But-
not
but
get a
be
job
sh-
or nothing. If you right, just be sitting there.
Just be and sitting there eating salad like with the rest of them.
That's gonna be cute. That's it.
Hey,
That's
Shy.
I wanted them to name him East.
Right.
East, West.
East, west, and then
I don't like
west.
I don't like that.
They
West,
said
West,
somebody
West,
said
West.
South.
Do.
But Southwest said no, we ain't having it.
But South, I like Southwest.
They can name her
Southwest
Do.
said Southwest.
But
Give
I
me
think
my money.
Chicago, I think Chicago's slick though. I like
Shy.
I like Shy's the nickname.
But I think that should have been the name Shy West. That's a stage name.
That is a
That
stage
is.
name.
That's so pretty
No,
too.
that's
I'm
Shy
with that.
West.
That's
Come
hot.
on
But they
now.
can call her
No,
that. It's
that's hot.
okay. Her name is Chicago.
But now we all know it's Chicago.
I know. It's like that's on the birth certificate.
And now we're gonna be like,
Right.
that's Chicago.
It's Chicago. Like
Oh.
That's a good name.
so
Moving on.
Anyway, so
on.
then child, this whole thing, you watch Love and Hip Hop?
I do not.
Which
I'm out.
Now I don't watch it, but I just briefly
I'ma
saw.
tag out.
I know you tag out.
tag
but no, but you know about this
Back away from the
topic.
mic slowly.
I know, but the Love and Hip Hop Miami. Now they have this what you say the baby's name in Chicago? People got questions. Why is the baby name Chicago?
Yes, the baby's name is
name.
Chicago.
Yes, it
Because
is.
everybody knows why.
Well, yeah, because
We
we
know
we
why.
know
but
why.
even Shy.
But I mean, then if they had one more, it's gonna be Calabasas. Enough. We gotta draw the line.
Cali.
Yeah.
Cali.
No, wait. What's the name of baby's name? Callie.
Who?
Game.
Don't.
No, they should. If they have another child,
It should
this
be
one's
Do.
gonna be named after the father.
Whose father?
If
Yeah, but
she
that's-
has another baby, it's gonna be named after the father.
Oh, Kanye.
After
But
Kim's
he-
Ray
father,
J Jr.
know what?
Duh. Ray J
Moving
Jr.
on. Not Ray
He
J.
hit it first.
Anyway,
Ray West.
so not Ray West. You are man. That's ballsy right there. Ray West.
That's good.
I mean, if she named after everybody she's been with,
Conray.
yikes.
Conray.
Not Conray. Conray West.
Conray West.
Mackenzie,
You trying.
Come get him.
I ain't messing with y'all. Anyway, so on Love and Hip Hop Miami, they have this new beautiful Afro Latina girl on there. You don't what?
Go ahead. Don't let him distract.
You got a problem with her?
Go ahead. Don't let him distract.
Okay.
That woman
Go
is
ahead.
gorgeous.
Go ahead.
Oh wait a minute, hold on. So the
Gorgeous.
She
issue.
is pretty though.
Okay.
No, pretty is an under. That
She's
woman is
gorgeous.
Okay. I
Go ahead.
Okay. So the issue is that there was
Go.
the
Go
issue
ahead.
is how the producer going crazy.
We kicking him out.
Wait a
Tell him
minute.
taking
though.
over.
The issue is she was on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking about. She was saying how the struggle she's had coming out of the Latina market, and coming over to into the American market, and just saying how so just saying how just by her skin color, and she was saying that if they would ask her if she wanted to be a slave or a prostitute, then yeah, we got a part for you, but she couldn't. I think she tried out for like soap operas and that sort of thing over there, and so but they all look the same, you know how it is, right? So what's the name? Charlemagne was saying, well, what about Cardi B? Like, she's America's darling. So, why, what's the issue? Like, people accepted her, and she was like, I get it, but I'm saying she's light. Yeah. And look at my skin. Like, and he wasn't getting it that there's an issue. And so somebody had to, and Alonzo, the dude that was in Jumping the Broom, he's considered Afro-Latino. Oh, yes. Okay. Afro-Latino. And so he was saying that, he's like, look, Charlemagne, I like you and all, dude, but I think you need to understand that basically colorism does exist, especially in the Latino community. Because if you think about how we identify with Latinos, is we always think they're light. So that's why when someone that looks like her, it's always like, you sure you? Wait a minute, what's wrong with you? You sure you? Like, look at her head and this and that. Right. And so it's always this issue. And so she was saying, I'm not taking. And so then, okay, so that was that part. Then Cardi B's sister jumps in and makes a long dissertation about how my sister worked for what she got, and you can't say just because. Yeah, she is, and just because she light, that don't mean this.
But why?
But nobody even. Why? And everybody like, girl, first of all, you can't be outspoken with your grammar the way it is. Let's
no Hennessy.
But I think,
but she was saying, her name should be Hennessy.
That's how she got here.
Oh, okay. But the point is, so anyway, I'm opening the floor. So what the issue was that she was making comments about saying that she worked hard and this, that, and the other, and the this is what the Hennessy was saying about her sister.
But nobody.
And the young lady, I think her name is I can't think of what her name is. But she was saying, I'm not discounting anything that your sister has done in the work. I'm telling you what the truth is. Right. My experience. In the community, when I was trying to make waves in the Latino community, I couldn't because of my skin color and I had a bush. They always want me to make myself look like a Beyonce-ish or something else other than what I look like.
Well, she doesn't always have the bush, but
no. But I'm just saying, like that's her look.
The pigeonhole.
It's because of her color. Period.
It's her color.
Right.
And so I'm just saying, what are your thoughts? I'm just saying I don't know why we still play this game of colorism doesn't exist.
Which is one of the most beautiful shades of brown I've ever
seen.
She
is freaking gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Right, and I think also Charlemagne was probably making that comment because we have seen a shift here in the States where he was saying we've seen that shift. But that doesn't mean anything because even with Cardi B, how many Afro-Latinas in hip-hop do we see being put out there? How many Afro-Latinos do we see in general being put out there? One. They'll let one of us in at a time.
Right.
So even if... We're talking if we're talking about Cardi B.
Well, she don't consider herself.
She may not, but I'm just saying. But
she
may not. She's Dominican. Okay, but my point is. But my point is, with people of color, they generally let one or a few in at a time, and you have to stay in a certain lane. And what she was saying was, it's difficult when you're a dark-skinned woman in general, but then when you add Afro-Latina, they're going to put you in a certain lane.
And they want you to be a certain way.
To be a certain way.
And it should.
So I'm sorry.
What kind of Mick foolishness is happening here?
I knew what's going to happen.
What's going on? I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry, you have a problem with her skin color?
I have no problem with her skin color.
Okay.
I think she's beautiful.
Okay.
I would date her.
She shouldn't be allowed
you would date
However,
her. Okay.
If we were talking about me doing business with her in regards to promoting her music, then I would be more along with the lines of the producer that's on the show.
About changing her.
Now, the way she is right now, I would date her the way she is right now. But if we're trying to market you and we're trying to break you into the American market, then we would need to make some changes to make you more marketable.
Changes?
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't like it, but I'm just telling you that if we saying we want to break into the market, you want to break into the market, I want to break into the market. Oh, I think it's. Can you it's outside. I want to break into the market, right? So we understand we're trying to sell. We're selling to the consumers. So these consumers have to be trained. So we have to train them to be open to new things. So that means that we have to follow behind her with another artist that looks like her and another artist, and then gradually that's how the trend shifts. But the first one coming in, it has to be something that's more digestible for the masses, and then we can force feed them. It's just like with knowledge, how you can teach people through gangster rap. If you have a gangster rap artist that gets his listeners, then you slowly change the message, make it more positive slowly over time. Then you can trick them, or maybe they don't realize that they're actually starting to learn something if you shift the message slowly. And I'm saying that we have to shift what the view slowly. That's the only way that you're going to really have lasting effect.
But okay.
But what she was saying was that even in the Latino market, when she was trying to get roles, they were pigeonholing her because of colorism.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
but what I'm saying is why do we have okay. So I understand. I hear what you're saying. As
And
far
this is
as
only for business. I'm saying she's beautiful the way she is, but if we talk about marketing her against these other artists these cookie cutter artists that they've been conditioned to like, we have to make her more digestible for them initially.
But what does that mean? What does she need to do?
Because
does she need to lighten her skin? I'm sorry.
Straighten her hair.
Straighten her hair.
Or sex symbol.
I'm saying the only thing that makes it harder for her with the roles, because she's already pretty. All she has to do is change
her hair.
Yes, wear a wig and change the hair. Once she does that,
Hello, testing.
That's why I said I understand what the producer was talking about.
No.
Because
but at what point are we going to let that go?
Right.
No, we can let it go.
But not if you're saying you would continue with it, because that's how things are structured. So we got to get her in there and then bring somebody. We're always going to be working in the status quo as opposed to putting somebody out there who looks like that. And then market
somebody
the hell
has
out
to
of
do
her.
it.
Yeah, but
somebody has to be brave enough to do it.
I'm saying if we have 5 or 6 women.
So now we got to find 5 women that look like her?
I'm just saying how trends happen, how things change is multiple people do it. And then it becomes.
But why does talent have to be a trend? Why can't it just be talent?
Because it's not that simple. That's just not the way that music industry works. It's not about
that's
talent.
That's not the way that it works. But why can't we?
Hello.
It don't work like that.
Testing. Hello.
But then it's always going to stay that way until somebody steps up.
Has to do
we
it.
have artists that are out right now.
Name them, baby. Name them.
That have braids in their hair with little beads at the end.
That's different.
That rap like Yo
That's
Gabba
different.
Gabba. We have.
It took time to get there. Let's go back. Let's go back to the old. Let's go back to the old school. It wasn't like that. All of them looked the same.
Take an artist like Macy Gray, who was never told that she was attractive and she wasn't the most appealing thing, but she was praised because of the uniqueness of her voice. Right. Let's go back even further than that. When you have people like,
do it like that, dear.
Absolutely.
You have to look at what led to the success.
Because Patti LaBelle wasn't that pretty either. But you couldn't deny that voice. But you couldn't deny that voice when she first came out, looking like she looked.
She had work done though.
You have to, and she definitely had work done. What I'm trying to explain to you is that you want to mention hip hop artists. The reason why the hip hop artists look so diverse now is because it was a process. In the beginning, they all dressed, looked, and acted the same. Over time,
and now they all look and
no, but you know what? In terms of hip hop, what I think was is where they came from. So the diversity really wasn't in the look necessarily. It was where you were from, because it all was centered in New York. And if you was coming from any place outside of New York, you really wasn't accepted. So somebody had to break through.
It's beautiful. So that's the same situation that this young lady finds herself in, and many other people weren't accepted. If you don't look the traditional Spanish way, you're not accepted. If you don't look the traditional this way, you're not accepted. That is how you're only proving my point. Now, what I'm trying to say is over time, this can change, but there's some steps that have to happen.
Do they say this to men? Do they say this to men?
No.
Yes. It's not the
Who
same.
said this to Biggie?
Sure.
Nobody put his ass on the treadmill.
Once again.
Nobody.
Did they? I'm sorry.
There was definitely.
Nobody told him to get on the treadmill.
Because every album and song started like.
I don't know if somebody said get on the treadmill. I
get out of breath.
They're not telling her to get on the treadmill, but they do. They have told male artists to lose weight. They definitely have.
Who?
I need to know who.
Plenty.
Heavy D.
Plenty.
Had it in his name.
Right.
Big Pun. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
Rick
yeah, they
Ross
told
almost
Big Pun to
died
lose
several
weight.
times, so that
They
really
told
was-
Big
Fat
Pun
Joe.
to
I mean,
lose weight.
they worked it into the act.
Big Pun actually
Right.
died. Like, no,
Yeah, I'm saying they definitely told him to lose weight.
No, I'm
They
not
definitely,
right.
No,
they
I'm saying
definitely
they
told Big Pun to lose weight. They definitely told Fat Joe.
Yeah.
They definitely told Rick Ross. All of these
But
gentlemen
guess what?
have
but
lost
hold
weight.
on.
For
But
the record.
was it?
But did that
before-
stop
it
their
was
career?
after.
Right.
Did that
It
stop
wasn't.
after
It
they were
wasn't just
already
their
out.
career though.
Correct.
It wasn't just. But
Because
that's
you
the-
can't
that's
be
the
on
problem.
stage doing
But
whatever
that's
if you.
that is the
Y'all
problem with.
changed the
So this
focus
brings
of
to
the
my other
Spanish
point.
lady.
When listen.
She doesn't need to lose
it's
weight.
it's a
Listen.
continuation because
This
the
is
point goes
who
back
doesn't
to
need to
what we were-
lose weight.
She doesn't need to lose weight.
No,
She's fine the
but
way
my
she
point is, do they do that with men out the
No.
gate? Do they
So this
pigeonhole
is-
them out the
so this
gate?
is
Sounds
what-
like you
This
said-
brings to the next.
Sounds like
this
you
is-
setting up the next thing.
No, because this is an issue when
Well,
it comes to for women.
It is.
It's always we have to do. I looked at Cardi B's page, and she was every video she has to explain. You know, I need people to. It's like she needs to tell you. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to remind yourself that you're great, you're beautiful, and all those things. But like she said, she gets so much hate, and I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about men.
Hate about what?
Just in general about just who she is,
'Cause she a
why
regular
you this,
schmuggler girl.
Yeah.
why you that.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
That
But
comes
I'm
with
just
the
saying,
territory.
same between her, same thing. This is why I read the comments. You go on Nicki Minaj page, hate about you, this, and that. That's why you ain't deserve. Like,
But wait,
that's
wait,
all
wait! I
media.
don't say the whole thing. Drake gets hate.
Everything.
Okay,
No,
Rick
but listen,
Ross.
when I-
If you ever look at Rick
listen,
Ross, everybody gets hate.
It's social media.
No,
It comes
listen,
with the territory.
it does come with this, but it's for women. It's different.
Sure, because you
It's
can,
different
you
for
can
women.
identify with it
Be-
because she's a woman.
No, and I agree with that's
Hold
probably
on.
the only thing
You
I
can
agree
identify
with.
with
No.
That
the
might be the
woman.
only
No,
little
the
Hate
piece.
is
No.
it's different things that they say, but it's hate nonetheless, and they're
social media
mean
is made
things.
for people who are bullies, like they don't
Yes,
want to say
I
what they
agree.
want
No,
to
I
never
totally,
tell you.
I totally
with
agree.
that
But
part.
what I'm saying is,
And cowards.
but what I'm saying
Right.
is, we don't get it just from social media. You get it from the people on your.
Producers.
Right.
No, listen, from that in the industry.
Yeah.
li-
He was not. Oh, you don't think he was hating?
It's
That
not
did
so
come
much.
from a mean place.
It may not, but the fact
The
not
fact
so
that
much
he kept
is
telling
calling
that
from.
girl, what makes you Afro Latina? Is it because of your Afro? Like,
Is
Why
this
do
in
you
your
have
mind?
that? Yeah.
Is
and the
this in your
fact that you
mind?
were
That
okay
was-
about
that
you
was
being
ignorant.
disgusting,
That part was
that made you
It's
hate.
ignorance
Yeah.
and it's intersectionality. Women always get that first before they even can be put out.
Yeah.
They're questioned. Are you smart enough? Are you pretty enough? Are you thin enough? Is
That's
your
what
hair
I'm
straight
saying. It's
enough?
like,
Is your skin
That's-
light enough?
But that's
we
what I'm
have to go
saying.
through this
That
whole
part.
checklist before we
So
can even
that's-
get on the
that's what I'm
stage.
saying. It's
Men
not
can
just
walk
social-
straight
it's
out of
not
Burger
social
King
media.
with the pickle hanging out their mouth and they right on stage.
And let me tell you something. And they can always get somebody.
Yes.
You can be broke as hell, ugly as hell,
Look, what
no
they say
as
on-
hell,
look,
Yes.
what they say on Harlem Nights?
Yeah.
Big, fat, greasy, biscuit.
and still get somebody.
and still had jazz.
Guys, there's no shortage of that. What I'm saying is for women, I'm not even talking about just the industry. I'm saying we have to constantly define who we are and prove who we are.
relationship to others.
J.
You have to
Cole,
put the other piece in there,
or
in
even not even J.
relationship to
Cole,
others.
But Kendrick Lamar is amazing at what he does. He's a truly gifted artist. But even looking at the way he dresses, where he doesn't really care, he don't need no designers. I don't have to cut my hair if I don't want to.
If that was a woman,
if that was a woman,
no.
she would not get the same respect. It would be, why don't you take care of yourself? Why aren't you taking pride in your
Right.
work? How dare you? That would
Yep.
be from the bougie women. The ghetto ones would be like, why you
And
make
it would be
designers
me-
with them
and it would be
thousands?
underground music. And it would be
Yeah,
underground
you're right,
music.
But the hardest ones on her would be women.
You right.
Absolutely.
It's no
We ain't
doubt.
going to
So
deny
that's
that one.
why your argument is difficult sometimes because y'all can be really hard on each other.
Oh, it's
But
no
the point is that it's internalized.
Yeah.
That's why other women are doing it, because we're all caught up in the system and we're colluding with it because
No colluding.
we're
No
colluding
collusion.
with
There's no
it.
collusion here.
It's collusion from the top down. There's collusion.
Right. I mean, I guess.
Really, I'm not being funny. I don't think it's collusion. I just think that it's just, I don't think that they're
All right, Trump.
conspiring. I just think it just automatically happens, and y'all need
It's
to
not
figure it
about
out.
Well,
conspiring.
but-
Colluding is I'm going along with, like you just said, I'm going along with the system. It's not about a conspiracy. I'm openly going along with the system. Because, like you said, this is what works. This is what, as opposed to, you know what, I'm going to do something different.
Yes.
But why can't they be trendsetters? Why can't you take?
If
I mean, especially in a year
because of
Black
how
Magic
the market is
House.
set up.
I need to lose 25 pounds. Okay?
Okay.
Now, can I say today, one fix, lose 25 pounds? No, it is a process. I have to go through a
No,
process.
there is one fix.
Yeah, but it's not going to be sustainable.
But who's going to
without
start the process if everybody keeps
it-
having the same
listen,
mindset?
You got to start slowly. Each
Why?
day.
Why do we have to start slowly?
Because
that's why
that's
people
the
saying
way-
time's up. Time's up for slowly. Enough.
right. No, that's
Like
right.
this is what
That's
this is what
right.
people
One
are
thing
saying.
that
Is,
you
That's
can
right.
let
do
me
with
just say
one button
this:
fix.
time's up does not just have to do with sexual harassment. It's time's up for the bullshit.
And
like
the marginalization
enough.
of
Stop
women.
doing that. Like people put women in a box. You only have to be one way. You got to speak a certain way. You got to look a certain way. You can't do this. Like now, all of a sudden, and unless it's made famous by white women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have the same braids, and all my life people told you braids, don't wear
full
braids to
lips.
work, full lips, this, that, and the other. But once it's made
inappropriate.
famous by white women, then it's okay. So I'm saying and for black women, we got the double. It's double for us.
And then we end up in the hotel room getting injections in our
Oh,
butt
boy.
because we are now
and
colluding
then
with the
it
system.
busting all open while you.
and busted open while you
While
dancing.
you twerking on stage.
Yeah.
Because it's internalized depression.
No.
You know what? That tagged me. That was
Look.
nothing to see.
Transition. Go to Netflix.
There you go. There you go. So about that,
Even what's that? Don't tell
See, I did
Monique.
that.
don't do you
Yeah, I
did
did
it?
that.
Yeah, we transitioned to Netflix. So
We got so worked out. We needed a pause for that.
We did.
Everybody.
Everybody got worked up, but it's true. We need to think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let that woman be great.
Which one?
Miss Afro Latina.
Because
I
it's
don't
straight
know.
colorism. And
It
people
is.
forget that it's a thing.
It is a thing
'Cause we
And
don't
stop
really
acting
talk
like it's
about
not.
it.
I wish people did.
Because we've
Stop.
seen a few more people put out there.
That's the thing.
And
Stop
so now
being
we
in
think-
denial about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
stop
Call
it.
a
Like
thing a thing.
enough. We already know it to be true, and that's why people in their mind when they saw her, the first thing they say, "What are you? Where are you from? Like, what does this look?" Because you only see J Lo. You see J Lo.
Yep.
She's Puerto Rican, but you see J Lo, and you think that's how all Latinas look, and they don't.
Yep.
If you go to other Caribbean, if you understand the African diaspora, then you'll understand they don't all look the same.
Stay woke.
Tell Jeff open it.
That comes down. The real solution, and I think this is a good segue into your next topic, which I really should stay out of.
No,
is
don't
that,
stay out of it. No,
already
you
started.
already. Is what Netflix?
Well, I say, but
How you binge watch?
segueing into that. The real solution is who controls what images we see.
Yes.
And as long as we are pleading our case for other media outlets to validate our supposed worth, then you're going to get the images that they want. And so we have to have our own control of the images that are seen.
Okay.
That's it. And that goes to the next topic
I
as
feel like
well.
we should cut your mic off before you say anything
I
else.
think
No,
that's my view on
No.
both of those topics.
Okay,
Well,
that's fair.
as we
That's fair. That's fair.
as we move into Netflix and Monique. So, everybody don't know the story about Monique. I'm sure most people do at this point, but in case you don't, Monique wants us to boycott Netflix because she was offered $500,000 to do a comedy show. And her issue was that was a lowball offer because Amy Schumer got, I believe, first she got millions,
And then went back and got-
went back and renegotiated and
She's
ended up
not
getting
Millions more.
millions.
I think it was like
some more.
13.
Yeah, I think she ended up being like 13 million. Whereas Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, I think off the break got like 20 million or something like that. And her issue was, of course, the lowball in her resume, who she is as a comedian, as an Oscar winner, her just in general actress all around. And she said on her video that basically she's the most, I think, decorated comedian in ever
In the U.S.
She said alive.
alive. Okay.
Because
and
Kev on
then-
stage was like,
yeah, I know. When they do, between the comment section and the extra videos that people do, when they do a whole montage of this people's response and this, that, and the other, girl, it's hilarious. But So I was first okay. So and then later came out that then Wanda Sykes said
Right.
she was only offered $250 to do a comedy special, which I'm really like, whoa,
Right.
Wanda Sykes. I'm
Right.
sorry, she should be getting millions,
Right.
Because
Easily.
she is
She's
the bomb and
easily.
she's awesome. Like,
But even
And then
Amy
she went.
Schumer-
And then she
what's her
went
name?
elsewhere.
right,
Amy Schumer.
and
She's
so,
not funny
but that's
at
But
all.
she
up
has-
to you. She
yeah.
has a following.
She has
She's
a
super
following.
inappropriate.
And so I think that's what people like. But the thing about it is, so anyway, so when I looked at the video and I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, I've never actually saw any of Monique's stand up. I've always liked, no, I haven't. And it's nothing.
Hey, stay
And it's
there.
nothing against Monique.
Yeah, you
it's
just
just I've never watched her. I just never seen her stand up. Now, but as far as her acting, yes, I used to watch was it
Oh,
the
the
Parkers?
Parkers?
I used to
I
watch
love the
that. I love
Parkers.
the Parkers. And as you know, in all the motion pictures she been in, I even watched her talk show. But I never really. I don't remember even seeing. I don't never remember watching her stand up, and I don't know why.
Not even what's that Queens of Comedy?
Queens of Comedy. Nope, I didn't watch Queens of Comedy. And let me just say this: I'm not. So I better put this out there. I don't watch comedy shows like comedy like that. So there's a lot of comedy specials that I just never seen. It's not like my first go to. Like I'm gonna watch a comedy special.
Okay.
Like that's just me.
Have you ever
Okay.
seen any female comedians perform live, like a solo?
And live, yes, I've seen some. I think I've seen some more, and it was somebody else. The lady.
Cheryl Underwood.
No.
She's annoying.
That's the one that says she can do a tic tac with. I forget it. Anyway. The point here is that so I'm not really. I don't really.
Now I'm curious. You can't.
I'll figure it out who it is. But anyway, so that was not. I wanted to put that out there. But anyway, so what was your thoughts behind her and this movement? Like, should we now boycott Netflix?
Well, it's not a movement yet.
It's not.
Let's
we're not-
just say that. It's
Well,
not
she
a-
was trying to make it a movement.
She was
Not
trying to
claiming
make it.
And everybody put it. The community said, "I'm gonna pause it right here."
Yeah,
This
we're
is where I
gonna
put my-
pause.
They,
We're gonna
they put
pause.
a thumbnail in it, or take the thumbnail out, and just,
'cause I can't
you,
do
not even
my-
the page fold. Don't fold the page.
I know you like comments. The one comment underneath was like, "I'm going home to watch Netflix right now."
The comment section.
It said, "Monique, I love you, but I can't afford
I'm
cable.
still on
And Netflix
episode.
is all I
I'm
got."
still
That's what
episode
they said.
3
People
of.
was like, no. Like,
I just started
I'm
watching
not-
Black Mirror. I need to keep watching that.
You right in the middle
Wait a
of
minute,
it.
my brother said she do too much.
No, so here, I really do have thoughts about this
Okay.
because, well, when I first saw it, I was like, I'm not gonna boycott Netflix.
Right.
But she does make a valid point because I do watch a lot of comedy
Okay.
shows, stand-up comedians, and I am a fan of Monique. I love Monique. I think that when you, again, critically thinking, I think that her point is valid from the standpoint of when you look at resumes, right, and you compare Amy Schumer to a Monique, clearly, resume-wise, Monique has her beat.
Absolutely.
But Amy Schumer has a particular following, audience, and relevance to today. Dave Chappelle was like underground for all those years. They gave him all that money. That was his,
But that's a male.
and it's a male, true. But I'm
And he
saying
also
as
has
far
a
as his,
following.
but as far as
And
his
he has a white
following, his
and
credit-
black following.
Most
Right, there we go.
He's a male.
Right,
it is,
but he
I'm just
has
saying
a
when you
black
look at the
and white
whole,
following.
but when you look at
More
the
white,
whole
I think,
list,
I want to say.
that's right. He has a large white following.
So does Chris Rock.
Chris Rock has a large white following,
So does Wanda. What's her name? Wanda Sykes.
but up against them,
Not
Yeah,
them
she
against
has
them.
a large
and
white
Wanda
following.
Sykes got the lesbian folks,
Which I
over
think
here, you know what I
took
mean?
her down, not down in the, but I think in some ways her coming out also affected her, who she was in the public eye. Because
Potentially.
you know what I mean? No, I do.
She's on Black. But
Was it
anyways,
ever
my
a coming
point.
out?
No, I don't think there was really a coming
No,
out.
I
She
don't think it
just
was a coming out, but it was
Right.
it was
But I
different
think-
in Ellen. In terms of who, like the splash she made when she did. I'm not saying people were shocked, but I'm just saying like,
Yeah, she didn't get blackballed like Ellen did for all those years. Yeah,
Okay.
Ellen was literally like, we're done with you for a while.
I love Ellen now.
But my point is just, I think her points were valid. But I do think, because I've been in the situation where I've been lowballed, and my team told me during the process of negotiation, my team told me, be prepared to say no. Be prepared to walk away if they don't give you what you know that you're worth. And I think particularly for women, because academia is a male-dominated profession, particularly, in those spaces. It was one of the hardest professional things I've had to do is to research and figure out, okay, what are the numbers? Just like what Monique was saying, looking at resumes, looking at all these things and pitching yourself and saying, I'm not going to take less than this, and being able to stand in that truth. And I think that women have a hard time doing that. And I think the point that Wanda Sykes made was, once you know that this is the game that they're playing, you have to be able to walk away and find another home if it comes to that. And so I think as far as her points, completely valid, I get it. The, boycotting and all that, again, I don't know that we need to jump on a movement because you're not getting your coins when you might be able to go somewhere else and get your coins.
And then just because we don't want to do that doesn't mean we don't support you.
Exactly. Exactly. Because we don't always have to
I
be.
love me some Monique and I support her, but I'm not.
I love Monique.
But see, that's where
I love
so
Monique,
that's
and
where,
I do think that she's worth way more than $500,000.
Oh, it's
way more than $500,000.
I don't think it's no doubt that she's worth that. But also, you got to consider some other things too.
That's
because
right.
I think that because me and my husband was talking about this, and we were saying if this would have came up against Tiffany Haddish, because she's what's hot now. Mm-hmm. I wonder what she would have been offered, because then we can do a real comparison. I'm not saying Monique is not worth whatever, but I'm saying if you want to compare who's hot right now, Monique is not really.
She's not hot right now.
She's not hot, and I don't know if between the thing with Tyler Perry, her issue with Oprah, all of those things play into who want to work with you and what they want to offer you. Right. You can essentially be blackballed. Because to me, that's really what happened to her.
Yeah.
Like, even though because she was in Bessie, she was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She's been in so many, in other things. Yeah. And so now nobody's disputing her talent. But I think that who you are as an individual, sometimes people don't want to get on board. Right. Because they don't. Exactly. Because Jada Pinkett was saying, well, we need to, outside of whether you like her or not, she's making a valid point, like you said. And so we should then jump, like, what do we need to do then to make this, and I'm saying kind of like what you're saying, like, I hear you, but
I'm not giving them Netflix.
I don't. But is it because you don't want to give up Netflix, or you don't believe in what she's
No, I completely 110%
but you just don't want to give up Netflix.
I'm just not giving up Netflix.
Well, that's just like I didn't go to the Women's March this year. Am I still
hold on. I need to talk about the Women's March.
Am I still part of the movement? Do I still support it? Absolutely. I just didn't go this year. I went last year, didn't go this year.
So, as a Baltimorean, a fellow Baltimore, I love me some Monique. I think she's hilarious to me. I've seen her stand up. I was cracking up from beginning to end. I think she's hilarious, and I love the rawness of her. And I love the rawness of her because she can still be a lady when she needs to be a lady, but she can be straight up ratchet. I know, I don't like the fact she don't shave her legs. That's not cute. But she can still, take it there and hang with the, guys when it comes to clothes. Yeah. I love that about her. But I feel like it's exactly what you said. Though I think the justification that Netflix was giving about her resume, and that's why they didn't want to give her the money she was requesting, was some BS.
Yeah.
And I completely stand behind her 100% with that. Because Amy, what is her last name? Schumer is not that funny. Like, in her resume is this long.
Right.
So on the level of what she's worth, I'm not talking about the following and everything, but what she's worth.
Right.
It determines because let's be for real about it. A lot of the roles that she's played, she added to greatly. Whose role? Monique. Even when if it's just the comedic relief of what she does and how
she's definitely. She's talented. It's no doubt. You can't take that away
from her.
her
last film and say that was bull.
No,
like
she was very good.
And any film
she's a very good supporting role.
Even though she's not relevant,
she's very good supporting role
right now. Like you said, it's also sexism because even though Dave Chappelle was gone for forever, and granted, people still wanted to see him, but nobody was checking for him because he was done. He was like, I'm finished and I'm done. So, but you came back and killed it. But and they respected you because of your resume and what you brought as well. So to then say that you won't give her the same respect.
But see, that's what I'm wondering. Who's
Y'all
negotiating?
confused. Y'all
Who's
confused.
negotiating these things for people?
That
Because
her
that's my other
husband,
que-
her and her husband negotiate for her.
Oh.
That's part of the
But
damn
that was
problem.
it. But see, then that-
Okay, so
Okay.
let me throw this out there for y'all to
Hold
just
on.
to unpack this for a second.
Have we
Okay.
not learned anything from letting our husbands negotiate our deals?
Let's unpack this for a second, okay?
do that.
Monique
You got Ike and Tina.
Oh yeah.
You
Mo-
got
Well, I-
Mary J. Blige and
Can do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, shout out to Ken Do.
Yeah, I don't.
Ken
I
Do is
never
a
think that
real
a
inspiration.
husband
Ken Do is an
should be-
inspiration.
No, he not.
Ken Do
Trifling
is
what
he's
he
not.
What?
Ken Do is
All right,
inspiration.
come on, let's
We'll get to
stick
him
to
for a
the-
second.
Inspiration for triflingness.
Just stick
Well,
to the issue
I don't know
at
about
hand. Go ahead.
trifling,
So
but-
go ahead. What are you saying?
All right,
Do you-
Monique is a supporting actress. Okay,
But she wasn't
she's
up
not a
for
star.
Lead role. She was up for her
She's not a
comedy.
star. She's not a star. And the award.
I'm sorry.
She was a-
What?
I don't
She's
understand.
not a star.
But they were
She is,
offering
though.
her a comedy special, not a role in a movie.
Correct. And if they were offering her a role in the movie, she would have got more because her value, and this is the part.
You saying her value as a comedian?
Her value as a comedian is what is in question here. Her value, as far as her Oscar winning and stuff, that was in a dramatic role.
Mm-hmm.
Now that holds weight. If she was going out for some dramatic shit, then she got some clout and she's up higher. But because her comedy star is lower than the people that she mentioned, that's why she was low. In addition to the other things y'all said, which is a lot of people don't want to work with her. She hasn't been working consistently, and that's for a reason. And it's because her attitude is not necessarily becoming.
I don't
For
like that either.
that her attitude is not becoming.
Yes.
But she need to fix
No,
it. But I
agree
mean,
that the way she goes about handling certain situations,
It's
where
wrong.
Your representation should be handling it. I agree that sometimes you.
But that
you can't
hurts you,
overstep,
though.
But it has nothing to do with her attitude. And the only reason why
That
I'm stepping in for
does.
that is because I hate when men, and I'm sorry, but most Caucasian or some. Let me rephrase.
All the
some
people she
Caucasian
beefing with was
people
women.
are quick
Oprah,
to
Tyler
say
Perry,
that
Lee Daniels,
it
was all
is
women.
The black woman in that attitude because I'm willing to stand up and tell you what I deserve and what I'm demanding. That does not mean I have an attitude. That means
Yep.
I know my worth and my
Yep.
value.
Yep.
So don't
Wait a
belittle
second,
this
wait a second,
woman.
wait a second,
I've been
sister.
saying it's the
Not wait a
attitude.
second.
Wait a second,
She's
sister.
sticking up for herself. See?
if a
No, I
man,
agree.
let me give you the, let me try to shine the mirror on you for a second. If
Please
a
do.
man speaks and he's upset about something and he's aggressive and this and that and acting hood or acting improper, not professional, you're going to call it out as what it is. You're not going to say he's a strong man and you're going to say he's not acting professional. This is, why is he doing, this is too much. Now, if a woman does the reverse, she should be held to the same standards. There's a professional way. When you talk about millions and millions of dollars, the way that she's acting, the way she handled Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels and Oprah and all that was not professional.
It was inappropriate. I
No, but
agree.
that means that's a serious attitude problem.
No.
It is. Because you suppose if you dealing with millions of dollars, if you want to keep it,
I don't think it's an attitude problem. I think it's a strategy problem.
Yes.
It's a strategy
and
problem.
whoever's in her
Because
team
we-
is not coaching her properly.
We have not
That's
We can-
heard.
we can play with the
have not-
words
Well, I think
all y'all
that's-
want.
I think
No,
that's
it's not
her.
playing
We
with
can
the
play with the words all y'all
it's not
want,
playing
but-
with the words because we have not heard any stories where we have heard them say Monique came into the office and was
Said-
doing all, and was going on.
She
and
does.
But we haven't. What we've heard.
I've
what
interacted
we've
with
heard-
Monique. I've interacted
You said
with
what?
Monique.
What'd you say? Lee?
There's stories out there about how she
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
But what we end
I know y'all want to side with every woman on the face of the
No,
earth,
Nobody's
but
saying
some
that.
of them,
Nobody's
some of the
saying
stuff
that.
people
Because
say
I'm-
is
wait
true.
Wait a minute. The simple fact that you would even say, I know y'all are going to side with every woman
It's
is part of the
sexist.
problem.
Y'all side with.
We don't
Has
side
there
with
ever
every
been a woman
woman.
y'all haven't sided with?
We're not
No,
siding
I don't
with
side with every woman.
In the stories that
wrong
we
is
that we
wrong.
talk.
No,
Name
we're
one.
not siding
We're not siding. We're giving.
Have we
we're
ever brought up a
giving-
wrong woman on this in this
We
show?
have.
I don't remember.
I'm
Because
saying,
you
roll back
don't
the tape.
listen for
Here's
it.
the flip
Hold
side.
on.
You listen for the
It's
Hold
not
on.
no
Hold
wrong
on.
Pull up the
woman.
flip
We're
side.
not. We're not.
Like
Nobody's.
these celebrity types. These
No,
celebrity
I'm
types.
saying I'm not really a huge Monique fan in that sense. I like her. I think she's talented, no doubt about it. But I understand the whole value in a following. And so I get what's hot and what's not.
Right.
And when it comes to these businesses, in this business, I know that's really what it's about.
And that's it.
But what I'm
And
what I'm thinking is, to me, I think she's just been blackballed. And I think that from
Why? But why?
I know from her encounters with big people like Oprah,
Other black
leading-
people.
But
That so she
say
can't.
what the
This
thing
don't act like
is.
this is a white black thing.
nobody
No, I'm not
okay,
saying
yeah.
So
Nobody
the issue
is.
is say that. No, you got
But isn't that
500
attitude?
because you funny,
Right.
but we don't really fuck with you like that.
Right.
It's not only that,
say
though,
what it is,
but that's
because
not
if
what it
But
is.
you don't pull my resume,
Right.
and not be willing to give me the credit for
I
it.
think.
and compare me to
I think that two
That's not
things.
right.
Two things. Monique. This is Monique's version. I don't think that the word I think she's substituting the word resume for the real word, which is hot. But when you're talking about negotiations, they didn't probably use those words.
I think part of the problem
But
is
that's
her
the-
husband. This is another thing.
That's what it is, though.
Like if it's you and your husband
Monique-
negotiating
yeah.
this, because I know they come as a
But
package
they didn't
deal.
even negotiate. They made the offer. She was offended by the offer,
Right.
and then she went off
But- and that's
because she
why-
got a bad business.
But that's why we're
sense.
saying that's my point though, is that if your
She
strategy
she
is
deserves to
off,
lose then.
If your strategy,
What?
if your
Yeah.
strategy,
If
is
you're
off,
doing
your strategy
business
is bad.
and you have no good business strategy, you deserve to lose. And then you can win later by losing. And then you can understand
I get
what
what
you
you
need
was
to do.
trying to
She
go.
needs to lose.
But where you lost me at?
Where lost you at?
No, I know.
we're not actually disagreeing.
I think we're all saying. I think
Didn't I tell you that? I was so surprised that y'all. I
No.
pretty much
Because,
agree
which
with
just
y'all.
goes back to my point. You're so quick to assume that women are going to come together because people don't critically think. People don't slow down to listen what other people have to say. They want to jump and hit the comment button and start making comments before they actually understand.
But you know,
each
a lot
other's
of people,
perspectives.
a lot of people feel differently than we feel.
who's a lot of people because
Sure.
I read the comment section.
I mean,
And
for
the comments,
the
the comments saying the same thing we saying.
the majority, I would say it's about 80-20.
I go by what the people say.
I would say it's about 80-20.
The people
No, because I didn't debate it. I didn't debate it with people. I didn't debate
Let
it
me
with
tell you
people
something.
saying
No,
that,
the people.
People
No, what
this
the
is
people
all-
are saying is Monique, stop.
Don't be the best.
They're
You need
not.
another
Everybody's
strategy.
saying you need for real. Like nobody is all like, and this is the reason why it's no movement.
Exactly.
There's no
That's
movement.
That's
Then
right.
people, somebody tried to put a little crease in the page, and they said no. They said no.
We're done. We're done.
We're done here. Like there's no movement.
There's no movement.
And
There's no
I'm gonna
movement.
tell you why. That's why I mean, it was nice what Jada Pinkett said because I get what she was saying.
It was
because
well put.
It was.
And even
because
Wanda Sykes.
Even Wanda Sykes. But
Even
she
Wanda
had.
Sykes.
She's basically.
See, she's smart.
Strategy.
It's
Strategy.
But see, what I'm saying is, so then I guess the next question is, then is everything that if we're saying that everything doesn't have to turn into a movement, right?
Right.
So is the strategy then to find, like you're saying, develop these different? We got to find places and platforms to put our images that what
Boom.
we think are beautiful,
Boom.
what we think are.
But that's
was-
happening
That's it.
because I honestly think
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose of OWN and what she does.
Yeah.
Like, I think
But why
the
you gonna
problem
shit
with
on
Monique
her?
is I'm about to say the problem with Monique is don't burn
shot
your
herself in the
bridges.
foot.
That's
But
what
you
happened.
have to honestly
shot herself in
consider
the
the
foot.
situation. If I went and attacked on social media everybody who I felt
Yeah.
did me wrong,
Uh-oh.
I would never
Girl,
get
you would
anything.
never.
Look,
Hello.
You wouldn't even be here.
And even
It's like on
if,
the-
even if it was justified, because I done got kicked out the group. It's not, but it's true. I done got kicked out the group at least
She
two
did.
times.
You
You
did.
did. You did. Early on.
We gave her option C
Early on.
at least 4 times.
And I was
But
like,
right.
what I was saying.
That's right.
But she burns her bridges. I
She
can
does.
agree.
She does. To me, and
But
that's
you
the
don't
problem.
think that's an attitude issue?
But that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm not saying it's
think
not.
it's a
I think
business
let's not
strategy.
say attitude. I
Because
think
you don't
her-
think it happens with her friendships too?
No, listen. I really think it's her approach, and I
And
think,
mindset.
and
It's
then
definitely
and you got to think about how she was raised too. One of the things I never forget, she had said that her father had told. She was always told that she was great. Now, I'm not saying I don't know all her ins and outs and all that, but I'm saying when you have a mindset of who you are, she's always had herself here. No matter the size she's been, who she's been with, no matter what situation
that's what
she's
was
been
appealing.
in, and she's always been at
But
this
that's-
level.
that's-
But what
that's
I
happened
think
was,
about how
but
hard that is to stop when
That been-
it's a,
But that's what I'm saying.
when it's a lot of that got you where you are.
but what I'm
The
saying
same thing
is.
to get you there can hurt you.
But what
Well, yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying.
So
I
my
can
point is
understand it
that
from both ends.
sometimes when you up here, but at some point you have to me she doesn't humble herself, and I think
Agreed.
and I think if she would, because of where she is now, it's like, well, hold on, I got this, yeah, I can read your resume. But if I don't have a good vibe with you,
And
I'm
you
not
haven't
gonna
done
mess with
anything.
You know,
in
she
X
needed to be
number of
Netflix
years.
representatives like, oh no, I read your resume. What I'm saying
Wait a minute, is that what the meeting was like when she came in?
But what I'm
What I
saying
said?
is, I'm not interested.
Because think about it.
I just got on the phone with Tyler. Right.
But think
And
about
they
it.
said-
But speaking of those two, that's right.
Tyler said.
That's right.
And
think
now
about it.
these are game changers.
That's
in the
right. Because
business.
think about it. Take it back to Iyanla. Remember back in the day when she shot herself in the foot, and Oprah was like, "You got it. If you think you can do whatever,
Yeah.
you got it." She kept trying all these different things. Nothing worked. She had to come back. Nothing worked.
She said she had numbers though.
Right, because her mindset and her strategy was, oh, again, I'm a collude with the man over here because they're offering this, that, and the other, as opposed to let me pause.
And she went to the white people.
That's what I'm saying. Let me go over here and do this real quick and da-da-da-da. Because her mindset wasn't, okay, let me pause, slow down,
Right.
get some mentoring from the queen, and she can eventually get me because I already have a platform. So let me use this appropriately. Strategy.
Right.
She had to come back all them years later and say,
She had to grow.
my
Not
bad.
grow.
Did you not see that show?
But
Oh,
she-
that was one of the best episodes.
But it was a
of
great
ever.
episode.
Because they were talking as if we weren't even there.
Those are the best shows.
Those are the
Yeah.
best
When it
shows.
seems
But
like
Iyanla
they-
had to humble herself and say,
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because my mindset was this way.
Will
and I
Monique
didn't
do
see
this
the bigger
one day?
picture. And now look at it.
Will Monique do that one day?
I don't think she will.
And that's why I keep going
And I'm gonna
back
tell you
to
what
strategy.
That would save her.
It could, but
And that's
I
what Cheryl Underwood told her. You need to go back
Double
and
back.
fix
Who
this.
said that? Who said
Cheryl
that?
Underwood, because Monique called Cheryl Underwood out. So just yesterday, Cheryl Underwood on the show
breaking
said,
news. Okay,
it's
well.
breaking news. Just yesterday on the talk. Because Monique called her out and was like, oh, these women
yeah, I
said
did
such
hear
and
her say
such, you
that.
don't have my back. And Cheryl Underwood was like, I never said I didn't have your back. What I said was double back. Double back to Oprah and Tyler and
Yeah.
Lee, the major players in the market, and do what you got to do to fix that.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, if you double back and fix that, you may end up on OWN.
Right.
And get Beyonce on your side. There you go.
Yeah, because the
So,
beehive
again,
behind
Be
you.
Beehive approved you.
Again, that's why
That's
I go
all
back
you
to
need.
I don't think it's a matter of.
Jesus
I hear
in
what
the
you're
beehive,
saying as
you
far as
winning.
attitude, but ultimately it's a it's a mindset and a business strategy.
It also has to be genuine. And so that's why
Right.
I
But I
say
mean,
that
I
so
think
because
maybe-
strategy
but even if
sounds
wait a
so
minute though, but Diamond,
ingenuine.
even if it's not genuine, at the very because it may not be at first, but
Right.
at the very least, you gotta just right your wrongs, and
That's
your
right.
wrongs are, you know what, you stepped on a lot of people, you burned a lot of bridges, and at the very least, at least honor that,
Right.
Because then your resume, you ain't gotta worry about a resume. People
right.
know your work.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think I do feel like sometimes when it comes to not just in business but just in general, how sometimes it is just I need to just come back. You know what? Let me take a step back
Yep.
because we can be quick to just kind of go, and we only see that because she in the limelight.
Right.
But I mean, as individuals,
Right.
we quick to be like, well, let me. That's it. I got to let
right.
them know, and it's because we want to let people know our worth and that hey, I'm this, I'm that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a setting, there's a context. There's a time and a place for all of that. So you just got to know that about you and the environment you in.
Yep.
And so when do you got to know when to say, you know what, V, I was wrong. And let me just, because you don't know when your next meal ticket comes
what I
out.
was
The blessing
thinking.
usually comes out of that. Because
does.
when you can sit back and let people reflect on how they wronged you.
Well, that's
in the
what you
process.
said on the last episode. That's what the reflection of
Right.
Oh, yeah.
coming back
I was like,
from the right. Look.
That was the new year.
Did I say something? Right. That's what you said. You said you got to sometimes revisit. Let me take stock in what all I
Yeah.
did and didn't do.
Yep.
And that's figuring out where
Yep.
you are. And that's what
Yep.
she need to do.
Yep,
She need to take a
absolutely.
minute. So it's no need for us to be boycotting Netflix, continue to binge on people. But what you
Binge
need,
on.
but what you need to do, Monique. I mean, hey, we just little side of shade.
Right.
But what we saying as women, I mean, I think coming together is just being accountable. And I think that's what the Cheryl Underwoods and
Yep.
everybody else was saying.
Yep.
We're not saying we're not with you,
Right.
but we need you to be accountable for
Yep.
what's going on. And this ain't just because they just want to give you $500,000.
Right.
It's more to it than that.
Yep.
It is a backstory.
The part that is crazy is that it's the village. It's who you have around you.
That's it. If
Because
it's just your
the
husband, you got a
proper
problem.
Village
If
is
it's just
people
your
that
husband,
will
you got a
tell you-
problem.
That's what I'm saying. So it's people around you that's not, just the yes people that's like, oh,
It's a
yeah,
husband and the twins. Her husband and the twins are on. That's who come in and negotiate.
I forgot about the twins.
The twins is in there. Ma, you know I need my shit.
I completely
The twins.
forgot about them. How old are the twins?
Because
No.
why not partner with Wanda Sykes and be like, okay, so
Let's do this.
She off
Because the
Sandy.
people
She
that's
started
willing
the
to give
movement.
the deal to Wanda may not be willing to give the deal to Wanda and Monique.
no,
They're like, we'll
no,
deal with you,
they may
but-
not. They may not
But
be able to give it to the
You
two
notice
of them,
that
but
you notice that Wanda's not. She had a one thing.
It's like I'm
on Twitter.
She said,
Yeah, girl.
"I'm glad you said something.
That's what happened to me.
I'm
You
glad
sure
you said
right. You sure
You right, girl. I did."
Holla,
Right. That's when she was like, "Call me, girl." She was like, "Okay."
All right, call me. When I
Okay.
hear your number, call me.
Right.
I'm counting my coins. Well, I'm counting my coins
Right,
from Blackish.
Taking this
Right.
Blackish money to the
Okay.
bank.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean,
Child.
Monique could have had so many different things
She
by
could.
now, but it's just a
It's
matter.
sad.
It is sad though,
It's
because she's a
sad.
great talent.
She's a great
so-
talent.
But everybody has a purpose. The purpose is to learn a lesson. So if you can't learn a lesson from the life of Monique,
Yeah. Monique,
There you go. That's the next. That's the next show.
Learn the lesson of
Learn the lesson.
the life of Monique. Child.
it's not
But she's
always
saying,
about
but
them.
until then, Netflix it is.
Right.
Because I don't think people been. They want to
nobody
be
giving
I
up.
just
Ain't
been
nobody-
Greenleaf. I was really excited.
Ain't nobody giving up Netflix.
gosh. But
Ain't nobody giving
anywho,
up Netflix.
so I think was that. Did we cover everything?
Did we? I think so.
I think we did everything. I'm tired.
I'm about to ask a lot of energy.
I have
You worked out.
No, but I do get cultural fatigue, and that's why I
Yeah.
appreciate you sending me the highlights
Yeah.
because
Cause that's what I gotta do. I gotta send. I send them message after
you
message. Be
keep me
like, did y'all see?
informed.
Okay, here go one. Here go. Girl, that's what I do.
because I get tired and I get cultural fatigue because it's
And I'm
so,
like, oh, what happened?
right, because there's so much going on, and
It
I
is.
get so tired of people jumping on, like you said, jumping on stuff, trying to create a movement, and it's all over. Everybody's all the same, and then I just get so exhausted
Yeah.
by it that I'm just like, I can only take so much at a time.
No, I get it.
So I appreciate you
But the
helping
comment
me.
section is where you need to be, honey.
I appreciate you helping me to stay,
It's going down in the comment section.
right,
I
focused
love
and
it.
grounded in the.
I'm the one,
So
girl.
they
If
come around laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at?
girl, if they had a little thing, I'd be like, I'd be in the comment section like this. Eat my popcorn. Like, oh my goodness.
I read
Yo,
like a
did she say
handful.
that? I try not to reply.
No, you're right though. I read a handful and then I'm like, okay, I'm moving on. Like I just like to get to the funny videos and then that's
With a
it.
little kid doing like this.
But
No.
that is so me.
It's
When I'm in class,
so
sometimes
cute.
I'm really crying on the inside. Sometimes, but I'm still
You got pushed through.
still
still
pushing through,
But wait a minute.
and I'm
so-
still doing the routine. But I'm crying on the inside,
little baby was like this.
crying.
Hilarious.
That's me. I mean,
But-
pointing at the PowerPoint.
We're going to have to post that on the side. of
We
shit.
do gotta post
We
that
do.
on
On the Instagram page.
But
pushing
the
through.
last thing we wanted to bring up is this whole concept of giving people flowers. Because the whole saying, like, give me my flowers while I'm here kind of thing. Because I feel like we just miss out on telling people what they mean or telling people they're important and, letting them know that, hey, you know what, you winning. You know what I mean? I mean, people need to know that while they're here, opposed to next thing you know, you look up and they may not be there no more, or whatever the case. I mean, it happens, So the segment is really, we wanted to make sure we leave out with giving, who do we want to give flowers to? And me personally, I wanted to give my flowers. You might even have the same person.
We want to give.
We want to give our flowers to Coretta McKenzie.
Hey, Mackenzie girl.
Yes. And so I think mutually how we wanted to do it because just to see a woman who we've seen her grow over time since I've known her. I mean, you've known her longer than I have, but just to see her progress and grow through just being a woman, being a mom. But today I just witnessed something that was just so powerful. I mean, I was really teared out when I went to the court with her. And and so just to know that when you accept being, and this is for anybody, when you accept being a mother or father, regardless of who that child is, to me that's a special thing. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be honored, it needs to be acknowledged. And I just want to say, Coretta, you are everything, boo. And so we love you, and you get your flowers.
You. Happy
Love
official
you.
Mother's Day, boo boo.
Yes.
Aw.
So
But I did have someone else.
okay, good.
So you all know how much I love my sister.
Yes. Oh.
She's amazingness, and she's probably not watching now, but it's fine.
Uh-uh.
But
Not watching.
Jennifer Pope, I love you daily, and I'm very proud of you. And I want to give you your flowers today because I'm so proud to call you my big sister. You have took a huge leap of faith, which truly inspires me to start your own business. And I'm just in awe with you right now because I know how hard that is, and I know how many people doubt your worth and what you can do. And I just can't wait for you to prove to the world that you are the amazing Black queen that you are, and I love you. So
Yes, Black Queen.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this segment.
I know we swung it on you.
Just sort of sprung that one on me. I guess I have two people that come to mind. Honestly, is my mom. I know she's in no way, shape, or form watching it, but my sister, if you're watching it, you can show this to her. And I say that because I called my mom recently because my mom doesn't really know exactly what I do. My mom literally got her GED when I was in college. And now I'm teaching at the graduate level. So the work that I do is, it's extremely important to me, but it has so much meaning because of where I came from with, one parent being an immigrant, neither one of them really having much education. And so the other day, I called my mom just to share with her some feedback that I had gotten so that she could understand what I do. And the reason why I'm giving her flowers now is because we've gone through a lot, and she's grown a lot as far as accepting me, seeing me as the woman that I am, and being open to communicating with me and showing me that she understands who I am and appreciates me, and just being available emotionally in a way that she wasn't when I was younger. And so I'm just using this opportunity to give my flowers to her. Hey, Ma. I'll show this to you later. But then I also wanted to give flowers to Lady T, who's a part of our village. And y'all know she's been stressed out to the max.
Yes.
And hopefully you're still watching, but you're probably not because you're working.
Right.
You're stressed out and you have stuff to do. But
Right.
this is a big week because she too is taking a big leap of faith. And jumping out in a way that I know she is terrified, and she hasn't even been able to get her head around all that's going on. Tomorrow is another big day for her, where she's going to have to deal with lessons from Monique.
Right.
And so I just want to say, you got this. You got this. You rock. You are making the right decision. Stand your ground. Stay in your truth. And just keep doing what you got to do. It's almost over. It's almost summer. The gate is open, and that's why you keep thinking about that Phoenix, because this is your time. This is your time. And just remember that.
Yes. Can you coach me through life?
My rate is 140 an hour.
Lady.
Yeah. So.
So that's how we're going to end our shows.
Good vibes. Good
I like
vibes.
that.
Yes, because I mean, even though, again, we always talk about, it is a side of shade, but again, I think that letting people know how you feel about them while they're here makes the most sense.
Absolutely.
Instead of waiting until y'all all gathered at the funeral.
That's right.
When the last time you talked to her? Like, dang.
Yeah.
And then everybody say, we going to get together, y'all. We going to make sure we
But
get
you don't never
together.
see 'em.
And you don't never see him until the next
2
funeral.
years later. But that's a movement.
Yeah.
Now that's a movement.
That's a move. And you can get behind that movement.
And that I can get behind.
See, and even though you ain't really know about the movement.
I didn't even know about the movement.
But you
You
plugged
just
in.
got it, see?
I'm
See?
in.
You bookmarked it.
I'm in.
Bam. She in the movie.
I'm in. I liked it.
Right. Thumbnail.
There we go.
I like that.
Well, thank you everyone for watching and listening. I'm Krishna.
I'm Victoria.
And I'm Kristen.
And thank you for
Till
joining
next
Other Side of
time.
Shade.
Good night.